Here we go. Let's do the damn thing. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, Junior, coming at you with a little live for you all about the weekend. And why? Because I know it is a big struggle for so many of us, myself included. I'll give you a little breakdown of how I've kind of fucked up the last couple weekends, so to speak. But anyways, if you're watching this, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a love. I would love to know if you're watching the replay later on. Just put replay in the comments. It just helps me to know, again, if I'm communicating a message that is getting across to people. So, and with that, let me also just say, this is something I've been having conversations with people about before, where they're like, oh my God, I love everything you post and you share and this and that, whatever. And I'm like, cool. I wouldn't know that because you don't interact with me. You guys, I truly do want to know, am I putting anything valuable out there for you that you can take something away from? And the only way I know if that's a thing is if you like, if you comment, if you share, if you save, if you do those things. Otherwise, I literally feel like I am just talking to a wall. Like even right now, I feel like I'm talking to a wall. So just give me a like. It really, really helps me. And it makes me want to keep showing up and providing value for you guys. And I promise you, if you have something that you are curious about, that you want to know about, that I could potentially help you out with, like, let your girl know. That is exactly what I'm here for. I've had a lot of really great questions coming to me in my DMs and stuff. And so what I've been trying to do with those is to just be super intentional about not just sharing it with that person who's asking me, but sharing it on things like these lives. I've been doing that a lot on my Instagram. I'll just randomly pop in when I'm like making breakfast or something and I'll do a live because I truly do want everybody to take value from that. There are no stupid questions. I hear this a lot. Well, this is a stupid question, but I'm like, no, it's not. I promise you it is not stupid. I will give you a response. I will find a response. I will direct you to a response, whatever I can, because the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. And there were a lot of things that I didn't know for a long time. There were a lot of things that I thought were right for a long time that were not right. And I'm just, getting to this place where I feel really, really good about what I do when it comes to understanding all the things I need to know in the health and fitness space. No, I don't know everything. I'm constantly learning. Even as of right now, myself and Liz, we are in a mentorship right now, and it is costing us literally 4 figures a month to further educate ourselves so that we can provide more value for our clients and for our community. And so even if you're not one of our one-on-one clients, we're learning more so that we can help educate you, the people who do choose to follow us on the journey. So feel free to ask me those questions here on these lives, in my DMs, in comments, whatever. And then I almost forgot, but I want to share it through this link that I also have. Literally, if you just go to let me copy right here. What's the link? It's like pickcrystalsbrain.com. It is on my Instagram. If you just go there, it says ask me anything. Any question you ask me there is totally anonymous. I won't have a clue who asked it. And this allows me to like make more content like this for you guys. So anyways, enough about that. Let's dive into all the good stuff. So the big topic this week is like you keep fucking up your fat loss and your weight loss and whatnot over the weekends. I see it time and time again. And again, I am no exception to the rule. So I want to do a breakdown of even just a one-on-one client check-in that I just went through today. I went through, looked at this client's food logs. They gave me feedback and all the things. Long story short, this person is in a calorie deficit. She is in an intentional fat loss, weight loss phase. So she tracks every day, like that's part of the name of the game. However, she had some circumstances over the weekend and stuff. And again, long story short, she went over her calories for the week by 1,800 calories, which might sound like a lot. It might not sound like a lot. I don't know where you're at and what you think. But for this particular client, we have her on a calorie deficit that is very flexible, if you will. It allows her to be eating plenty of food, okay, while enjoying her life, enjoying her social life, never feeling like she's eating next to nothing, because she's not. She's eating about 1,600 calories a day, which is still a decent amount of food for her. And all we did for this calorie deficit phase is drop her daily calories by 300 per day. We went from 1895 down to 1585. So we cut her calories by 310 per day, 7 days per week, in order for her to hit her weight loss goals. And we've been seeing amazing progress over these past several weeks. It's been awesome. The scale is consistently going down, especially now that we've really adopted more of a whole foods based approach to her meals. And guess what happened? Well, this past week, She had 2 different meals where she had food that was not prepared by herself. It was one where she like went and grabbed food from someplace else, another one from like another chain restaurant. Long story short, 1,800 calories over her entire week's protocol, which pretty much just puts her right back to where she was before the deficit. It pretty much takes her right back to her maintenance calories. Because remember, if I'm cutting about 300 calories per day, 7 days per week, we're cutting 2,100 calories. So when she has a week like she did this past week, where now she's eating 1,800 calories over her weekly goal simply from 2 different meals. This wasn't like she was going full blown on 2 days. It was 2 instances. That's it, of eating food out that she was not preparing from restaurants or whatever, grab and go place. And this threw her right back into her old calories before she started the deficit. So guess what? We didn't see any weight loss this week. We actually saw weight gain, because once you're in a deficit and you start to eat more than your deficit calories, you're going to gain weight. That's just how it is. You have to consistently maintain the calorie deficit if you want to consistently maintain losing weight. So that is how easy it is to throw you off. And I just made a reel today. It's a long one, but it really goes through. So I want you to check that out on my Instagram. And it talks about like, basically, if you're starting over every Monday and this sounds familiar, like, yeah, that's a thing that so many people experience, myself included, my clients included. If you're overdoing it on the weekends, you are negating the calorie deficit that you thought you were in, and it doesn't take a whole lot to do that. So go check that out. But anyways, I had people ask this, or I asked this question earlier this week: what's your biggest struggle through the weekend? And so let's talk about some of the responses we got here. We got tracking. We got somebody saying like they're not always aware of their schedule. They working 6 days a week. I oftentimes like to have a no schedule day, which can sometimes be hard to plan out best for my goals. Social life, meeting up with friends for drinks and dinner or brunch, saying no and doing what's best for myself and my goals. Social life and tracking. So yeah, all of these things I totally get are going to make it tougher to hit your fat loss goals, right? But the fact that you're aware of these things already speaks volumes, you guys. If you know, hey, my biggest thing is, let's talk about this person, for instance, that says not knowing my schedule and having like a no schedule day. Sure, if you like that, if you enjoy having a no schedule day and that works for you, awesome. But you're literally telling me right here that that's not working for you. This is clearly a struggle for you. Why would you want to struggle if you don't have to, you guys? So this is also recognizing that you have a choice. You were the one who is choosing to struggle on that one day because you were choosing to not have any sort of a schedule. So that would be the first thing that I would recommend, is like, just because it's a day off and because you want that like relaxation, I guess, from like your 6 days of working, doesn't mean that you can't have some sort of structure. So just telling yourself like, hey, I'm going to eat pretty similarly on this one day as I do on the other 6 days. You could even just like choose to not track that day, right? It could literally be that simple, where you're like, hey, I don't want to track today. I want to have, I just want to chill. I want to relax. I want to do this and that, whatever. Just eat what you eat on the other days when you are successful with your goals. It's literally that simple. And then on these other days, when you have more structure, cool, like use that to your advantage and say like, cool, I'm going to be dialed in. Maybe you want to go out to eat or something. Great. You're going to be dialed in for all of your other meals, and you're going to plan those meals accordingly to set you up for success with the meal that you're going out to eat. Like, does that make sense? Where it's just like, hey, I'm going to follow a bit of structure on a day that I'm normally structured anyways. That'll give me some flexibility for this one thing on that day. And this is something that's huge. It goes back to one of the things that I love to preach, is that structure brings freedom. Like, structure really does allow us to have more freedom. If we can follow some sort of set principles of like, hey, I'm not going to necessarily track my food. So again, this is something I'll be using this weekend with upcoming travel. I'm not necessarily going to track all of my meals, but I am going to follow a strategy and a game plan for me. I'm going to get my step count in every day. I'm going to get in the workout that I need to as normally scheduled, right? I normally work out on Saturdays and Sundays. You bet your ass I'm still going to work out on Saturday and Sunday. And if I don't, well, I will move it, and I will still make sure that those workouts get done at some point in time, right? They're going to get done. I'm not going to just not do them just because of XYZ. I'm going to get them done. So movement, workouts, you have control over those things. What else do I have control over in this situation? I can bring food with me, right? I can bring food with me. So I'm road tripping. I'm going to bring a cooler. I'm going to bring some proteins and I'm going to bring some plants. I'm going to pre-log some things in MyFitnessPal just so that they're there to be things that I can like keep myself aware of. Like, oh, okay, if I eat this turkey and this chicken and I eat this like Creatures of Habit oatmeal for breakfast. Oh, I throw some egg whites in. Oh, I have some berries. Oh, I've got some little snack baggies of carrots and mini bell peppers and guacamole. If I just have a few of those things planned in, it allows me to see like, oh, okay, I've got these great things that I can rely on to incorporate into my day that are going to make me feel better. And they're things that I normally eat on a day-to-day basis anyways. Because at the end of the day, sure, I want a little bit less structure maybe this weekend, and I have to be okay with going with the flow a little bit, knowing that like this isn't my event. I don't have control over it. I'm kind of along for the ride, but absolutely nobody at these events that I'm going to be at has control over what I choose to put in my mouth. I have control over that. So this is my reminder to you that nobody is forcing you to eat anything. You get to choose what you're going to put in your mouth. You get to choose to do your workout or not. You get to choose to get your steps in, to try to be mindful about getting as much sleep as possible, to try to drink water. All of those things are within your control. You are not a small child whose parents are bossing her around, him or her around, to tell them, you have to eat this. You have to take a nap here. You have to do XYZ. You literally get to make all the choices yourself. Isn't that a fucking cool thing? That as an adult, you are totally 100% autonomous in your choices and nobody else can do it for you. But remember, whatever you do, it is your choice and you have to accept the consequences on the other side. So this is a special shout out to anybody who's working with a coach, whether it be myself and Liz or anybody else. If you're working with a coach, the coach and the protocols they lay out for you, that has absolutely nothing to do with you and your adherence. We just lay them out. We're just the GPS. We're providing you a map or a blueprint. You are the one who is the person in the driver's seat who has to decide what you are and are not going to do with that blueprint. So you don't want to do it? Fucking cool. Like, get it, do your damn thing. But it is not anybody else's choice but yours. So there's that for you. Okay. So then I want to hit on people who are talking about social life, meeting up with friends, drinks, brunch, tracking, stuff like that. This is why I really like to incorporate something like flexible dieting, where you get to track the things most of the time. You don't necessarily have to track them all the time, but just keep in mind, it's about building that awareness. So when we are doing flexible dieting and we are allowing ourselves to hit certain amounts of like calories and protein and fiber, that's what most of our clientele uses. Most of them don't specifically track carbs and fats, but we do track calories, protein, fiber. If I am specifically targeting those things, most of the time, at least 6 days out of the week, well, at least I should say 6 days out of the week, that can oftentimes give me, again, a little bit more wiggle room on that 7th day. Let's say, for instance, the client that I talked about earlier, she could have totally had a higher calorie day on that one day if she would have just been more in alignment with, hey, I'm going to eat more of the meals that I always do. Beautiful. But I'm also going to allow myself to have this thing and I'm not going to go overboard. The fact of the matter is, she went a little overboard. Okay. The amount of calories that she had in that one meal equated to like 1,100 calories over what her daily allotment is. 1,100 calories is a lot when you're only eating 1,600 calories a day. That's almost double. Well, it's definitely like 2/3 what you're normally having in a day to reach that weight loss goal. So tracking brings that awareness, but it also allows you to have that flexibility of knowing that, cool, maybe I wasn't fucking dialed in on Saturday. I'll just bring it back on Sunday, and being, again, okay with the consequences that you are choosing. All right. Also, calorie cycling is great, where you can have like 5 or 6 lower calorie days throughout the week, and then you can have 1 or 2 higher calorie days on the weekends. That's the protocol that I use with some of my clients, especially when I know their social life is like huge for them and they need to have higher calories on certain days. This is the protocol that we use with our 90-day blueprint people. So again, if you're somebody who's interested in that, like, hit me up. I'll shoot you over the information, but we specifically give them targets where whatever their goal is, whether it's weight loss or body comp change or just feeling better, we'll give them calorie cycling protocols if they want them. For example, 5 days lower, 2 days higher. And then overall, we're just looking to see how many calories are you trying to get throughout the entire week as a whole, Great. Did you hit that target? Awesome. Then you're going to hit your goals. But guess what that involves when you want to do calorie cycling? It involves tracking your food. So, excuse me. Again, there's many options. There are many ways to skin a cat, so to speak. However, you have to decide that you're going to do the thing. And if you don't want to do the things that take getting to the ultimate goal, then maybe you just don't want that goal right now, right? Like I had a conversation with one of the gals in the 90-day program yesterday. She's halfway through and she's like, I think I want to drop my calories because I think I want to like lose some weight. And I'm like, dope. I see your tracking hasn't really been on point the past couple weeks at all. It's not even close to on point, which is fine. But I don't want to change your protocols because we don't even know if these existing protocols would produce the outcome that you're looking for, right? If she's not tracking, if we don't know what she's eating, if she's not hitting the targets that I gave her previously, I don't exactly know how to change them in order to get her to see the progress that she wants to see. So I'm happy to change those for her. I just need to know where the data's at now so I know where to go, right? Just like in a science experiment, you guys, if we did those in school, it was like, hey, we have our hypothesis. We now gather our data. We now analyze that data. There's no data for me to analyze so that I can come to a conclusion and try to run the experiment again, so to speak, with her. So just being aware of like, you can't always have your cake and eat it too, you guys. You have to either decide I'm going to be diligent, I'm going to be dialed in, I'm going to track the things because I want to reach this goal of, for instance, weight loss. But if you don't want to do the things, don't expect the outcome that you're looking for. All right. If you know you need to cut down on alcohol in order to help you reach your goal, but you're refusing to do it, then don't expect the outcome that you're looking for. If you know you want to lose weight, but you're not willing to give up date night every single week with a 1,500 calorie meal just because, then you don't want the thing you say you do right now. You want it, you say you want it, but you're not willing to work for it, and you have to work for it. Okay. So let's dive into some of the fun stuff when it comes to just going into how to sort of stay on track over the weekend. Like that's what this is all about. We want to make sure that we've got some sort of a game plan. So let me read through some of my notes because you guys know, obviously I talk a lot. It's easier for me to have some sort of a script here sometimes. So let me break down what I wrote down for you so that I could be as concise as possible on this part. So it is important to maintain consistency over the weekends if you want to be successful with your weight loss goals because newsflash, weekends, they account for about 33% of your entire week. The weekends, they make up roughly 1/3 of your week. So if we're looking at Friday afternoon through Sunday, it seems like a short amount of time. Yes, you know the weekends go by so fast. We always say the weekend flew by because before you know it, it's time to go back to work. And none of us want to go to fucking work. We want to just have weekend life. We want to be chill mode all the time. But here's the thing that sucks about weekends. Like that other person said, there's so little structure. And so it's so easy to throw you off of your game plan for success. Okay. So I need you to remember that it is a short amount of time. It seems like, but it's half the amount of like a regular weekday, right? If a regular weekday is like Monday through Friday, our weekends are like 2.5 days. It's Friday night through Sunday night. It's literally half, right? Your weekend is 1/3 of your entire week. Okay. So when you break it down, pretty significant chunk of your week when it comes to especially your health and fitness goals. Maybe not all the fun you want to have. Maybe you want to have fun 7 days a week. But the fact of the matter is, it is a very decent amount of time when it comes to your health and fitness goals. It is very easy to undo all of the progress that you made throughout the week just in those 2.5 days. Okay. So for simplicity's sake, we're going to break it down. You eat 3 meals a day, we'll say 7 days a week. So that's 21 meals. So those 7 meals that you're having Friday night through Sunday night, they account for, again, 33% of your week's results. 33%. So if you have no game plan for success with the weekend meals, much like that person said about like not having a schedule on the one day, and you're neglecting to eat the same way that you do all week for the majority of the weekend, then I can almost promise you that you are not in for a good time when Monday morning rolls around and you step on the scale. It just is a thing. So if and big effing if, you guys, if you were dialed in Monday through Friday afternoon, that's 67% of the week that you're actually doing what you need to do in order to achieve your goals. So again, all it does is thinking back to like when you were in school, 67% ain't nobody fucking bragging about that. You were not excited to get a 67% on anything. I promise you that. And it certainly didn't give you an A or a B average. And remember, when it comes to weight loss, you have to be putting in A or B effort. 80% plus in order to see results. C is just average. C means you're going to maintain right where you're at. 67% is less than C. It is less than average. So why would you expect even average results? You're going to get no fucking results with the 67%. Okay. It's a D. We here at Carbs and Consistency, we are high level achievers. We like to do the damn thing. We love to be like the A student, whatever. We are not settling for that D effort. It's not happening. Okay. So how do we break this down and make those weekends more doable? What are some hacks we can implement? So first off, you got to plan ahead. So we have to plan ahead so that you're avoiding impulsive decisions. If you decide willy-nilly on Saturday, oh, I wonder what I'll have for breakfast today, that's going to lead to just grabbing whatever sounds good, right? It's probably not going to be something that's conducive to your goals. But if you decide Saturday morning, hey, I don't really have anything prepared or planned or whatever, but I know we're probably going to go out to dinner tonight or something, then you should probably stick with the same breakfast you're having Monday through Friday that helped you see that scale slowly come down, right? If you're doing things right, usually Monday through Friday, you're consistent, you're doing the things, you're in a fat loss phase, you're likely seeing that scale drop down Monday through Friday. Guess what? If you can maintain some of that consistency over the weekend, that's going to continue to happen as well. And if it doesn't, at least it's not going to be this big fluctuation up if as it would be if you decided like, oh, I'm just going to go to fucking Burger King drive-through. Oh, I'm just going to have Chick-fil-A for lunch. Oh, I'm going to go to Applebee's for dinner. Like when you're not going in with some sort of a structure and semblance that looks like your weekdays, don't expect to be successful on the weekends. So you've got to plan ahead. My best tip is to pre-log your meals just as you normally would during the week. Because guess what? It's not set in stone. You can change it if something comes up. But the thing is, it's so much harder to just like come up with a new plan than it is to simply modify the existing plan. Again, I just pre-log everything. I copy over from Friday. That's what I'm having Saturday. And then if I want to tweak anything, because I can, so much easier to just take something out and add something in to replace it and like shuffle some other things around in my food logging app. Okay. So plan those things in advance, try to have more similar meals that you would during the week, and make sure that you're also planning for success with some food prep. Because I hear that a lot where people are like, well, I ran out of all my food prep or I ran out of all my groceries. Dope. If you're consistently running out of your fucking groceries, plan a grocery pickup or a grocery drop off, or plan a grocery trip on Friday night or Thursday night or whatever to make sure you've got some stuff to get you through the weekend. But I would also say a big thing that I do is I keep things on hand in the freezer that I know I could just thaw and add into stuff. So you'll oftentimes see me do this on my stories. I will literally pull out a bag of the frozen broccoli. I'll pull out a bag of the frozen rice cauliflower. Amazing. I can let those things defrost. You can defrost the frozen green beans. Like all of these are in my Costco weekly staples, right? I'm eating these things all the time because even if we do end up going out to eat or something over the weekend, I've got all these things on backup. You know, baby carrots, they don't go bad very fast. You can keep those on hand. Things like apples, things like oranges, those things tend to last a decent amount of time. And then having frozen options like frozen mixed berries, frozen chicken patties, frozen turkey burgers, frozen chicken sausages, or turkey sausage links for breakfast. Freezer items are one of the best kept secrets because they are going to help you when you're in a bind, because oftentimes you just have to either thaw it or just throw it in an air fryer or a microwave and you're good to go. A lot of these things you don't even have to ever cook or like defrost before you can cook. So have a lot of stuff like that on hand and make sure you've got some protein and plant options to get you through the weekend at the very least, so that you're not telling me, well, I ran out of food prepped food. Dope. You need to have easy things that you can simply throw together. Here's a protein, here's a plant, delicious. We're eating it. Okay. Next step. First one was plan ahead. Second one, incorporate physical activities. So you definitely want to stay active on the weekends. You don't want to just be a fucking couch potato, especially now that it is getting more nice out. Get out and move. That vitamin sun will be super helpful for you so that it builds your endorphins, it builds your feel good energy, and makes you want to do more of the good things that make your body feel good. When you're sitting in front of fucking screens like this all day and you're sitting closed up inside and you're not getting that natural sunlight, that's going to lead to less energy. So get your ass off the couch. The TV shows will always be there, you guys. You can come watch the TV shows anytime, but take advantage of getting outside and being active. If you're telling me I can't get in my workouts during the week, I'm just so busy. I get it. Like, mom life is fucking hard. You guys work so hard. You go to work and you work, you come home and you work. It can be tough to squeeze in a quick workout. So why the fuck can't you get in a workout on the weekends when you're now no longer working for 8 hours? I get it. The kids have functions and events and all that stuff. That's why it's super important to like try to keep a similar sleeping schedule on weekdays and weekends. You should still be going to bed at a decent hour, getting up at a decent hour. And now that you're not rushing to get out the door for work, you should be able to have some time to fit in a fucking workout. I don't care if it's literally only 15 minutes. We have plenty of clients right now that's what their workouts are. It's 15 minutes a day. That is doable by everybody. It is literally 1% of your day. Do not tell me you can't give 1% of your day to feeling better, looking better, being better. And if you can just tackle that 15 minutes, how amazing is that to like have this easy win that literally took up 1% of your effort that day? So get in a workout if you can. If you got more time, do it. Maybe this is a time that you can try out something more fun, like hiking, like stand-up paddleboarding. Don't pretend that that's like a crazy workout that's going to like build muscles and like get you jacked and stuff. It's not, but like going and doing things that incorporate physical activity, so much better than just sitting around and like getting shit-faced and whatever, okay? Next up, we want to make smart food choices. So making those smart food choices, especially when you're going out or you're attending social events, you can pretty much always decide to choose to get something that's better, right? There's almost always a better option available in most circumstances. So my big thing is try to get yourself a balanced plate, whether you're at a barbecue or you're at a restaurant or whatever. Can we identify a protein source? Whether it's a hamburger, and notice I didn't say like a burger with bun and stuff. Like, you can get a hamburger patty, you can get a chicken patty, you can get a chicken breast, you can get a turkey burger. You don't necessarily have to have the bun. You totally can if you want to. But like, do I have a protein source? Then can I fill half of my plate with fruits and or vegetables? So if you're out at a restaurant, great. We get like a steak and we get a side salad, and we also get a side of broccoli or asparagus or whatever vegetable they have to offer. Amazing. Now let's add on a carb source. Maybe it's a potato or a sweet potato or a cup of rice. Cool. That's a balanced plate, you guys. And then if you also want to have something else, maybe you're splitting an appetizer with somebody. Maybe you're splitting a dessert with somebody. Maybe there's just this delicious thing on the menu that you want to have. Guess what? You don't have to like eat everything all at once. You could like box it up and take it home. If you're at a barbecue or something, maybe you're the person who brings a healthier dish so that, you know, even if all the other options there are dog shit and they're not going to help you with your goals, well, at least you brought something that you can depend on. So I'm pretty famous for, I bring the veggie tray, or I bring like a delicious fruit salad. I've got this one that I love that has like mandarin oranges and berries, and it has like this like spicy poppy seed honey dressing. It's super good. But I always try to find a better option that I know I can have, just in case there isn't anything amazing there for me. So try to be in control of that, and decide, what's your alcohol limit? Are you having alcohol at all? If so, you should decide ahead of time how many you're having. Maybe knowing what you're having can be super helpful as well. You guys know, for me, if I'm going somewhere and espresso martini is available, I'm going to have it, but I'm typically never going to have more than two. That is usually my max. Two of those, water the rest of the night, because I don't like to feel like shit. And guess what? We drink alcohol, we feel like shit, we choose to eat shittier foods, we have worse sleep, then the next day is harder to make ourselves go do the thing. So, come up with that game plan ahead of time when it comes to your food and how you're going to tackle it. And if you're somebody, again, who's working with a coach and you want support with that, guess what? I do this with my clients all the time, where I'm like, cool, where are you going? Pull up the menu, decide what food options you want, and we'll go over what that looks like for you together and why this is a better option than that. But we also want to go with like, what do you want? You don't need to be eating things just to eat them if it's not something you're going to enjoy. You should also be planning for things that you want to actually eat in those situations, okay? Come up with a way to just manage those portion sizes. Like I said, the balanced plate, half of it veggies/fruits, a quarter of it lean protein source, a quarter of it a carb source, and then maybe we've got like a thumb size serving of fat. That can be a really great strategy. Also, I was chatting about this with one of our 90-day people the other day. She was talking about protein serving. She's like, I've seen like one palm size serving. Like, ugh. I'm like, I steer more towards 1 to 2 palm size servings of protein. at any given meal. So if you're somebody who's not tracking, you're not able to track, whatever, that can be a good line or a good guideline for you. And remember, protein is there to be satiating, to be filling, to make sure that you're not starving and wanting to eat all the things in sight. It is very, very easy to overeat chips. It is not as easy for most people to overeat steak or chicken or hamburgers, right? Like it's just not. So make sure you're aiming for about 1 to 2 palm-sized servings of protein. And then when it comes like the fruits and veggies, let's look for 1 to 2 fist-sized servings of fruits and veggies at a meal. Those can be other methods of measurement that you use when you're simply eyeballing things, okay? Next up, we definitely want to stay hydrated. Whatever your water goal is every day, fucking crush that water goal on the weekends too. There's no reason not to. It is water. Don't make me get up on my soapbox about what a privilege it is that your ass gets to drink fucking clean water every single day and you want to bitch about it. Don't do it. Drink your water. Everybody should be aiming for at least 1/2 of your body weight in ounces per day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you bet your ass you better be drinking 100 ounces a day. And for me, I go for a gallon. It works for me. It's easy at this point. Typically, the most days lately, I'm drinking 150 plus ounces because I love it. So just drink some fucking water, right? Even if you're drinking alcohol, tell yourself, cool, every alcoholic beverages gets followed up by 16 ounces of water. Next up, prioritize your rest and your stress management. So emphasize that sleep is huge, okay? I have to emphasize that. It is huge. It dictates all of our actions. If you don't understand that, you are so behind. Our sleep is the thing that tells us if we're hungry, if we're full, if we're cranky, if we're happy, right? So if your fucking sleep sucks, everything else sucks. You guys have heard me say that a million times. Your sleep sucks, everything else sucks. If you are not getting good sleep, you're going to have an increase of the hunger hormone ghrelin. You will have a decreased amount of the satiety hormone leptin. This does not produce great results. If we feel like we're always hungry because we're not getting enough sleep, we're going to overeat. If we feel like we're always craving things because we're not getting enough sleep, we're going to overeat. If we never feel full and satisfied from our meals because we're not getting enough sleep, then we're never going to hit our calorie goals. We're always going to overeat. So sleep is huge, you guys. And also, just managing your stress, making sure that if you are feeling stressed out, you're incorporating activities into your life that bring your stress down. So like I said, I get it. Tracking on the weekends and stuff, it can feel like a lot. It can feel overwhelming. That's because you're letting it be overwhelming. You're not just making your weekends as similar to your weekdays as possible. And so I hate when people tell me tracking is so stressful and blah, blah, blah. Like it's just not. You're making it stressful. Do you know how stressful it is for me to go copy and paste one day to the next? It's not at all. There's zero stress around that for me because it's just not a thing. Why the hell would I be stressed about that? You should be more stressed about the fact that you waste time scrolling mindlessly on apps that are providing absolutely no value to your life. You should be more stressed about the fact that you're not taking care of your body. And guess what? You're going to pay a fuck ton of money in medical bills when you get diagnosed with diabetes. Or when, God forbid, something really big happens and you have a heart disease condition. Like when you have to pay for it later on, you're going to be really fucking pissed that you didn't decide to manage your stress, manage your sleep, manage your nutrition, your fitness, your lifestyle choices. You're going to pay for it later on. At some point or another, you will pay for it. These things will catch up to you. So why not just be proactive now and invest in yourself with high quality foods? Invest in yourself with hiring a coach if you need to. Invest in yourself by getting a gym membership and actually investing in a routine that's going to help produce results. All these things can be paid for with money. You can always make more money. Guess what? You cannot ever get more of. You're never going to be able to buy more time. The only way that you can buy more time is by investing right now, but you cannot pay for more life later on. And you're going to be really pissed off one day down the road when you wish you would have prioritized taking care of yourself now. So yes, the weekends count, whether or not you want to count them, whether or not you want to feel like they have an impact on your results, they do. So what are the things you can do this weekend to help yourself stay on track? You can 1, plan ahead. You can 2, incorporate physical activity. You can 3, make smart food choices. 4, stay hydrated. And 5, prioritize rest and stress management. Those are all things that you can do this weekend to keep yourself on track. Does it need to be perfect? Fuck no. But does it need to be purposeful if you want to ever get anywhere? Sure as shit does. So don't be perfect. Be purposeful. Don't give me excuses, give me effort and prove to yourself that you're worth it. So that's what I got for you today. I hope you guys have an amazing day. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, takeaways, I'd love to hear it. I hope you guys enjoyed last night's live where Kyle showed you guys how he makes our amazing smash burgers that, again, we're eating for the 4th week in a row now. And if you have not copped that Costco grocery guide, make sure you do that. I am very excited to chat next week on here. I'm going to be with my girl, Coach Liz, and we're coming up on her 1-year anniversary with Carbs and Consistency Coaching, you guys. So we're going to do a full-on sit-down with her, talking about her journey. For those of you that don't know, my amazing assistant coach, Liz, she has lost and kept off 180 pounds. She is an amazing coach. She has transformed some awesome bodies in this bodies and minds, let's be honest, over this past year of working with the team. And so we wanted to share a little bit more about her story. She just wrapped up school yesterday for the semester. So now she's got some time to come in here and hang out with the community and everything. And we're also going to have some fun stuff coming up over these next couple of weeks to celebrate her being with us for 1 year. So I can't wait to see you guys there next Thursday. I think we're doing 11:30 Mountain Time just to better work with our schedules. But yeah, super pumped. Have a great day, a great weekend, and let me know if you have more success this weekend than you have on previous. I'd love to hear about it. All right, have a good one.